Thanks for tuning into The Pretty Fix. I'm celebrity makeup artist Melissa Murdick, and this tutorial is all about how to stop your under eye concealer from creasing, which is a really common problem if you aren't taking the right steps to prevent it from happening. Lucky for you, I'm going to give you the solution so that you never have a problem with this again. So let's get into it. Don't use too much moisturizer. Using an eye cream or moisturizer underneath your eye is great, but make sure that you use an absolutely minimal amount. If you're using too much, you're gonna create a slippery surface and your makeup's gonna have difficulty clinging to that. Also, don't bring your foundation up underneath your eyes. Foundation can have the exact same effect as eye cream if you apply it underneath your eye area. It creates a surface that concealer's gonna slide around on, and it also adds an extra layer of makeup, which makes it more likely to crease. Plus, you just don't really need to use foundation here. Concealer is the real magic worker. If you want to stop your under eye creasing for good, invest in a liquid concealer, a concealer brush, a lightweight translucent powder, and a small powder brush or beauty blender. As a quick pro tip, when you're choosing a concealer, find a lightweight liquid concealer. Oftentimes, those formulas that come in a click pin style are really ideal for concealing under the eyes because they help correct the darkness, but most liquid concealers will do the trick. As usual, for all of these products that I'm mentioning, we have links beneath the video of my absolute favorites, so definitely check those out. So many girls on YouTube are putting a ton of concealer under their eyes, and that is the #1 reason why you're gonna get creasing. Plus, there's absolutely no reason that you need to use that much concealer from day to day. It's crazy. Anyhow, to conceal the right way, you apply just a small amount of liquid concealer right where the darkest part of your under eye is, near the innermost corner. You can then apply a couple dots along the rest of your under eye area as well if you like, but just make sure that you're keeping that coverage ultra light because this is the area where you're most likely to develop creasing. Next, use your brush to pat the concealer into place at the inner corner of your eye, and then blend the remaining concealer outward. For a finishing touch, use a finger to pat back and forth over your concealer, which is going to really work the concealer into the skin so that it doesn't just rest on the surface and crease. Most girls that I know fall into one of two camps. They either don't powder their under eye at all because they're afraid it's going to be cakey, or they literally just pile the powder on because they recently discovered baking. Neither one of these are necessarily ideal, so here's what you should actually do. Pour out just a small amount of powder into your powder lid, and then pick up the powder with your brush or sponge and then tap on it to get off the excess. Use a pressing motion from the inner corner of your eye outwards to press the powder into the concealer, which is literally the key to setting it into place. Then go back in the opposite direction from the outer corner of the eye to the inner, using that same pressing motion to make sure it's really worked in. If you use the right amount of powder, you should not actually be able to see the powder underneath your eye. Your concealer should just look a little smoother and slightly more matte. That is honestly all there is to it. I know it doesn't seem that complicated now that I've spelled it out for you, but just like with most things in makeup, it's all about combining the right products and the right techniques, because once you've got those down, it totally solves your problems. If there's any other makeup woes that you've been struggling with, make sure that you comment below this video because the Pretty Fix is entirely based on what you want to know. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with the notifications bell so that you don't miss out on any of the other great tutorials we've got lined up for you. And definitely head over to theprettyfix.com for way more expert makeup advice.